Are you looking to speak English fluently and confidently? If yes, this lesson is for you. In today's lesson, we're going to look at 8 steps you have to follow to speak English fluently and confidently. Before we get down to the nitty-gritty of speaking English fluently and confidently, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why don't you subscribe and press that bell icon so that you will be notified when I upload our next lesson. The first step towards that, setting realistic targets. What do I mean by setting realistic targets? Sometimes you must have seen people setting targets like, I'm going to speak like an expert in a month, or I'm going to learn 25 words a day. I'm going to master English grammar in a month. No, these are unrealistic targets and these things are not possible. Is it going to work? It may not work. I think it will not work. Right? So setting realistic targets, say learning 2 words a day, and you're going to speak good English in a year. Then say I'm going to speak like an expert in a month. Because English is a language, and if you want to speak good English, it takes a lot of practice. It's a skill that you have to develop by practicing. So you will have to spend a good deal of time to achieve that kind of mastery in the language. So you can't speak like an expert in a matter of, say, 1 month or 2 months if you're just starting your journey. So setting realistic targets is very important when it comes to speaking good English. So when you set your targets, think about it. Can you do that? Can you achieve it? And then set it. Second important thing is this. Practice speaking from the very beginning. Don't wait for the day when you speak grammatically correct, perfect English. How do you start? That's the next important question. And that's it. Start with simple, small sentences. If you can put 2 words together, good, you are good to go. Many of us like to start with a perfect English sentence, a big long sentence with perfect grammar, perfect vocabulary, all these things. It's good, it's wonderful, but the problem is that that's not realistic, that's not possible. You have to start small, baby steps first. 2 words together, yes, you're good to go. Come here, do it, help me, right? Small steps. Could you help me, please? You don't have to wait for that perfect sentence. Or, I wonder if you can do it for me. Those are sentences, beautiful sentences, but do you really have to wait for those perfect sentences to start speaking English? Never wait for those wonderful, beautiful sentences to come out of your mouth. Next is the most important thing. Never be worried about making mistakes. And why? Because English is not our mother tongue. So it's quite natural to make mistakes when you learn, right? It's quite natural. So don't think about mistakes. Just speak. But if there are possibilities to learn correct things, always grab those opportunities. If someone tells you that, okay, this is a way you can draft or make that sentence, just listen to that person and get those sentences right. That's perfectly alright, but never be worried about making mistakes. And many of us are actually too worried about making mistakes, and those things are actually hurting us very badly. And when you're too worried about making mistakes, you don't push yourself or you don't try to speak because you think about, okay, am I going to make a mistake? So you think about that, which is actually stopping our progress. So you should make sure that that's not happening. You should make progress. If you want to see progress in you, never be worried about making mistakes. Next one, finding speaking partners or language learning partners. So here, there are 2 possibilities. One, those who are learning English language or those who are learning to speak English language. And then second one, good speakers or good language users. That's the second one. So in this case, actually the problem with the first thing is that the person may not be able to correct you when you go wrong. But if you have a good partner who is good at English, naturally they will be able to correct you, or they will be able to guide you in the proper way. So look for people who are looking to get partners and also who are good at language, so that you can actually learn from all of these people. Now you found people to speak with. Next step is speaking as much as possible, grabbing all those opportunities. Sometimes you get opportunities, but you are worried about your mistakes and you don't speak. That shouldn't be happening here. No, that can't happen. So what do you have to do? Grab all those opportunities. Never be worried about your mistakes. No, never be worried about mistakes. Start speaking. So make most out of your opportunities. Make best use of your opportunities. Next important thing is that never learn all the grammar rules from the very beginning. Don't waste your time doing that, because you can't think about all the complex grammatical structures and start speaking if you are a beginner. That cannot happen. So don't waste your time studying all the complex grammar rules. Just start, and as you go, you learn more grammar rules and structure, etc. And when you reach a certain stage and you feel like, okay, I started speaking, and then you can think about, okay, learning complex grammatical structures so that you can speak better using complex grammatical structures. So only then you have to go for such levels. You don't really have to learn all the grammar rules in the very beginning of your language journey. No, that's not required. Next important thing is spend some time learning English pronunciation. I don't really mean getting a pronunciation dictionary and looking to improve your pronunciation or mastering, like mugging up English pronunciation. That's not what I mean. You listen to good speakers, and when you listen to good speakers, you get the correct pronunciation. Make an attempt to practice like that. Practice and get that good pronunciation. Some people make this mistake. They just say like, okay, first I'm going to start speaking and then I'm going to learn English pronunciation, which is not a very good idea, because you learn all the wrong pronunciation in the beginning and then later on you have to spend a lot of time unlearning these words and getting the new pronunciation, which is tedious. Unlearning and relearning can be quite difficult one and quite time taking as well. So don't waste your time in that way. So what you have to do is, in the very beginning, listen to good speakers and get good pronunciation as well. These are some of the strategies that you have to follow to speak good English. And before you leave, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe now. And also, if you like the video, if you like the lesson, please give a thumbs up. One more thing. If you've got any comments or questions, please do write them in the comment box as well. With that, bye-bye from Lubish and English 24.